So now it's all filtered off, and now we're ready for the next step, which is to add the yeast. Now I have two options here, and that is to add regular yeast, which is fine enough, but it'll take about a week. Or I could add this super yeast, this one, to speed it up and probably make it overnight. However, this one gives a bit of a bad flavor to it, so we'll go for the 1 weeker. During the fermentation process, we'll monitor it with this Öxlevägt. This one measures the density of the fluids by sinking lower and rising up depending on the density. As we convert in sugar into ethanol, which is what we want to have, then this one will sink down because the fluids are getting lighter and lighter. So, let's get on with it. Hello again! And now the yeast is mixed in and everything is ready for the fermentation. But before we start, I just want to give you a little bit more insight about the Öxlevägt and how that one works. There is a red line here that corresponds to the density of water, and that is without any sugar in it. As you're adding sugar, it will be denser and denser. The green area is where the beer will wind up normally, and that one is in the range of 1030 to 1065 grams per milliliter. And that's about where we want this mash to be, so let's check it out. Okay, it's bobbing around a bit and it's cooling down at about 1060 gram per liter, and that corresponds to about 180 gram of sugar in every liter of water, and that would give us a mash of in the range of about 7%, which is quite good. So yet again, we're happy. Perfect! Hooray! Hello, just want to share with you the progress. At the moment it's been fermenting for about 2 days and things are looking good. Let's check it out. As we can see here, the Öxlevägt is sinking down, and if we take a look at the scale here, it's about 1029 at the moment. And if I pop this one in, you can actually hear the fermentation going on. And that's all for now. Yep, 5 days. And let's check out how it's doing now. If we take a look at the Öxlevägt here at the bottom, you'll see it's been going all the way down to the red line, which means it's pretty much done. And if we take a step back, you can see a bit of yeast here at the bottom. That's dead yeast, but everything is complete and we're ready for some stilling. Then we're ready for the stilling. Now that the fermentation is done, the mash has now changed name into wash. And before we do any stilling, I should actually clear off all the yeast and everything inside there and filter everything. However, I'm running very low on time because the Whiskey Club is having a meeting in 2 days and I gotta be done by that time. But before we start the stilling, there is something I have to explain to you about the stilling process. Check this one out. Let's take a look at a regular whiskey still. It contains the following components. It has a chamber for vaporization, and as spirits will vaporize at about 78 degrees versus water for 100, spirits will come out first. Then it's led from there into a condensation unit, and in that unit it will turn back into liquids again and pour into the collection unit. Incidentally, this is the same setup as a condensing dryer. The condensing dryer has a chamber for vaporization where all the close is, and then it's led down to a condensation unit that will condense all the vapors back into liquids and then lead everything over to a collection unit. And from there we can pour everything into bottles. Well, I don't love my dryer that much, and I'm a single guy, so let's get on with it. pour in about half. I don't want to go more than 5 liters. If you're having a dryer that is leaking, you should soak some clothes or sheets or something, or dirty underwear, whatever you find that you want to use. So pour in about half of it and try to keep the yeast back, not to include that into the mash. Okay, and then for the settings, if I was making vodka, I would actually have to aim for a strength of about 80 to 90, but at the moment we're making whiskey, and to make it about cask strength we should aim for somewhere between 60 to 70, so we can increase the drying time a bit. And that one is closed up well. Put the dryer on and off we go. Perfect. Then we're done with the stilling. Remember one thing when you're stilling: always throw away the first 50 milliliters. That contains fusel oils and all kind of crap that you don't want to have. The middle cut, however, which is sitting here, that's the best thing. So let's check out the strength with this alcohol meter. Has a nice scale for percentage, and see what we got. From what I'm seeing here, it is at about 63–64%, which is quite nice. So then we got a good cask strength there. The next step now is going to be purifying it. So what we have here is active coal. Some might say that you're not supposed to use coal in whiskey, but Tennessee whiskey and American whiskies usually do this in order to mellow it out. And even the Scottish ones, a lot of them have burnt the barrels on the inside in order to make coal to purify the spirits. So we'll be using some, also because we don't have as much time as most Scottish distilleries. Throw in a bunch of this. Normally a few spoonfuls is enough, but we're running out of time, as I said. Leave it till tomorrow. We'll rinse it through this homemade funnel thing. It's packed with cotton in the bottom. Pour it through there. You'll get all the coal out and you get the nicest spirits you'll ever have. Okay, see you tomorrow for the maturing part.